Hi, it's Lisa again. In this video, I'm going to talk about applications of lines and slopes. So we're going to be solving some word problems or some story problems. Example number 1 says find the slope of the roof shown below. So if we want to find the slope, remember we have to do rise over run. So if we look at this roof though, if we want to find the slope here, all we're going to do is rise over run. Now this is kind of a tricky one. We're going to assume that the roof is symmetric on both sides of this structure. And so our run here is really not 84, but half of 84 or 42 feet long. So our slope, M is going to be the rise over the run. The slope, it goes up 12 feet to every 42 feet that it goes across. And we always want to reduce. We can reduce both of these by a factor of 2. If I divide 12 by 2 and 42 by 2, I get 6 over 21, and they both have a common factor of 3. If I reduce by 3, I get that the slope is 2 over 7. Example number 2. The cost of taking a taxi ride in New York City is $5 plus 5 cents per mile. Now, don't hold me to that. Don't know that those figures are absolutely true. We're going to write an equation for the total cost of taking a taxi ride for X miles. So we're thinking about an equation. And so if you think about cost C, okay, that's our cost. So we're going to have C equals. We want to take a taxi ride for X miles. When we do this, we want to think about the slope. What's the rate of change? And then what's the y-intercept? Or what does it cost just to open up the cab door and sit inside? Okay, so here the variable cost is per mile. That's the thing that's going to keep changing as you go on your ride. 1 mile, 50 cents, 2 miles, $1, 3 miles, $1.50. That's the variable part. So that's our slope. It's our rate of change. 0.50x, because we're saying for X miles plus our fixed cost, or the cost just to ride that taxi, is $5. Okay, so cost function C equals 0.50x plus 5.00. Step 2 in this problem, we're going to find the cost of a 7-mile taxi ride. So 7-mile taxi ride, is that going to be X or is that going to be C? On the statement of the problem, they told us X was the number of miles. So this tells us that X equals 7. If I plug 7 in here, 0.050 times 7 plus $5. This is 3.50 plus 5. I get that the cost of the taxi ride is $8.50. Example 3. Tom purchased a computer for $900. The computer's value decreases $150 per year. Write an equation that shows the value V of the computer X years after it was purchased. Well, let's think about it. We're purchasing it for $900. That's a one-time thing at time 0. The minute you purchase it, you've spent $900. The value decreases $150 per year. X years. That's the variable part. The $100 per year, that's our variable part. So when we do V equals our slope, what's our rate of change? It's minus 150 per year. So minus 150x plus what was the initial cost? $900. And part 2 of this question says, if the value of Tom's computer is $300, how long ago did Tom purchase it? The value is $300. That's our V. We're going to let V equal 300. So we're going to have 300 equals minus 150x plus 900. And we need to solve that equation for x. If I subtract 900 from each side, I get negative 600 equals negative 150x. And to solve for x, we need to divide negative 600 equals negative 150x. We need to divide both sides by negative 150. And that gives me 4 equals x. So Tom's computer is 4 years old. He purchased his computer 4 years ago. That concludes our section on application problems. This is Lisa, hoping you have a great day.